Hello, this is going to be our 35-week bump date. Technically right now I just turned 36 weeks today, but this is going to be reflecting on the last week and 35 weeks. I still technically am due March 5th, 2022. However, it really sounds like we will not be having a March baby and that he will be coming much sooner than that. So I'll get into that shortly. But let's talk about week 35. How big is baby? This is the same size as last week. They have the sizes kind of categorized into a couple weeks together. So this is the same from like, I don't know, 32 weeks to 35 weeks or something like that. It was all the same bracket. But size of cotton candy, lion cub, or honeydew melon, all different sizes, 17 to 18 inches long and 4.2 to 5.8 pounds. When he last got measured at 34 weeks, he was in the 26th, I think, percentile, so on the smaller side. So I'm guessing he's closer to the 4.2 pounds than the 5.8 pounds, but I do not know. Weight gain, I haven't weighed myself since the last video. I had gained maybe 2 pounds at that point, but I'll get weighed again at the doctor this next week, so we shall see what they end up saying, and I will report back, but I might have gained like a pound or two, but not too much. Must-have items, again, I don't really have like a specific, I've been trying to think, I don't know what my must-have item would be. I don't feel like there's one thing that I'm using a lot. I've been thirsty, so I've been drinking a lot of water. I don't know. So again, as I list my symptoms, if there's anything that you think would help me and sounds like a good must-have item for me to have, please let me know. I am very open to suggestions and things that helped you as I make my way through the end of this pregnancy. Symptoms, I feel like there's not that many this week. The nausea comes and goes. Occasionally I'll feel nauseous after I eat a big meal. I'll feel very overly full and kind of nauseous. Sometimes at night for some reason I feel nauseous, but overall not too bad. I am still taking the nausea medication though. My hip pain is still there when I'm in bed, when I'm rolling in bed from side to side or when I try to get up out of bed. I also have some pain in my lower back on my left side. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if that's where his head is or something, because his head always seems to be on the left side over there, so maybe that's related, not sure. Definitely still very hard to get out of bed. I feel like a turtle stuck on my back trying to get up, and it's very difficult to lift myself up out of bed. Restless legs have been a little bit better. I've been using a lotion on them that's supposed to help. So I don't know if the lotion's helping or if that symptom's just easing up. Hopefully the symptom's just easing up, because it's been very difficult to relax and get ready for bed when my legs feel like they constantly have to move. So that's been nice that that's eased up a little bit this week. Stretch marks have been a little bit less itchy. I feel like I haven't gotten any new stretch marks, and it seems like when I get the new stretch marks, that's when they get itchy. Something new I've noticed is breast tenderness, kind of right before you get your period, where they feel a little bit tender. I don't know if that's due to hormone changes, of maybe a different hormone coming into play as I get closer to birth, or if it's due to milk coming in, maybe. I'm not sure. It's not super painful, but I just noticed it a few times that I thought it was interesting. That's basically it. Overall, I feel pretty good. I wrote down that I hear a lot of people complaining about lots of symptoms at the end of third trimester, like cramping and contractions. I don't really think I'm having any of that. I don't really feel overly exhausted or super tired. Actually, I have a lot of trouble falling asleep, so the opposite. I don't feel overly emotional or hormonal. I'm not really having a ton of swelling. My ring's getting a little bit tighter, but I can still take it on and off. It's not stuck on my fingers. So I think that at this point, I'm lucky that I'm not having all those other symptoms. Hopefully it stays that way, but also I wouldn't mind having the cramping and contractions, because then it means that baby's getting closer to coming and hopefully easier time in labor. Cravings and aversions, I thought this was going to be a fun category, but it really has never been. So it's basically the same. Cravings, I am having a hard time with the gestational diabetes diet. I wish that I could eat more carbs and more sugars like chocolates and desserts and stuff. I'm eating the ones that I can that don't spike my blood sugar, but I definitely wish that I could have more. Aversions, I wouldn't really say I'm having aversions, but the food that I've been eating over and over and over because it fits the gestational diabetes diet, I'm definitely getting tired of that food. So I wouldn't say it's an aversion as much as boredom or disinterest, because I've had it so many times. what I miss goes along with that. I really miss being able to eat what I want to eat. The gestational diabetes diet is difficult at this point. I feel like I've been eating the same things over and over and over because certain things spike my blood sugar. My blood sugar has been more inconsistent as I get further in pregnancy, so I can't really experiment with as many foods because it spikes my blood sugar. Even foods that didn't spike it before spikes it now. So I have to stick to very specific things, and when you eat the same thing for breakfast and the same thing for lunch and the same thing for snacks every single day, only drink water, only have a certain amount of carbs, certain types of bread, certain types of fruit, then it gets boring after a while. So I definitely miss being able to eat what I want to eat when I want to eat it. So hopefully I can do that again very soon. Challenges this week, I'm gonna say my blood sugar has been fairly okay. I've had a few spikes, but since I've started that medication, I feel like it has been helping and has been keeping it more under control. The blood pressure, however, is a lot less consistent. It kind of is all over the place. Most of the time it's good. I check it every time I check my blood sugar, so I check it multiple times a day, and usually it's great. It's well within range, but occasionally I'll have some high ones. So on Wednesday night, it was a little high. It wasn't crazy high, but it was reaching a point that it was going to be high. So I tested again a little bit later and it was even higher. And then I waited maybe like an hour, tested again, and it was even higher. So then I'm sure stress plays into that. And then I was like, oh no, what am I supposed to do? It kept getting higher, kept staying higher. Like 4 hours later, I ended up calling the doctor that was on call, asking what I should do. He said that if it continues to get higher, 140 over 90 is kind of the cutoff range for me and my doctor. And so if it gets above that, they want me to call. It definitely was above that. So they were saying, we don't really think you need to come in, but just keep an eye on it. So I kept an eye on it and it stayed high. Luckily, I had an NST, a non-stress test, scheduled for the next day. So I got to go to that, but it has been snowing a lot here. So my other appointment with the actual doctor got canceled. So I didn't get to speak to the doctor about it or anything like that. But they did do the non-stress test and baby looked good. They found movement, they found heartbeat, they found everything they were looking for. So that was reassuring. And then my blood pressure was still a little bit high at that point, but later on in the day, it started to come back down again. And then it's been mostly good since then, but every once in a while it spikes up. Like earlier this afternoon, it was starting to get high again. I haven't checked it again since then, but every once in a while it just gets higher and it adds more stress because basically I could get hypertension. I'm on like the verge of that. I think I'm considered gestational hypertension right now, but it could lead to preeclampsia, which would be a lot worse and a lot more severe, and that could develop at any time. And then that would mean that I have to have the baby like emergently, immediately, which nobody wants to do that. So keeping an eye on it for now. They did tell me that when I talked to the diabetes team, that because I'm on the diabetes medication, I will not go past 39 weeks. Originally, I thought they were saying that I would be induced at 39 weeks, but they said I will not go past 39 weeks. And they said that the goal with my blood pressure being kind of inconsistent is to get to at least 37 weeks. So that makes it seem like sometime between 37 weeks and 39 weeks is when the baby's gonna come, which is very soon because in a week from today, I'll be 37 weeks. So this baby could be coming very shortly. Highlight of the week, I finished this baby blanket. I'll put some pictures in that I have been working on crocheting for like probably a year now. I started working on it when we were still trying to have a baby and we were having difficulties, and it gave me hope that eventually one day I would have a baby that could use this blanket and it would be in a baby room and be used by our child. And now it's crazy that that's actually gonna happen. That like this is, I finished the blanket. It's much bigger than I thought it was going to be, which is great. And our baby will be here soon. It just feels like great timing. So I'm proud that I finished it. I'm proud that it looks as good as it does because I'm definitely not a professional crocheter. I only know how to do like one kind of stitch and a straight line, and that's it. Nothing fancy. So I'm pretty pleased. The edges look good. The colors look good. There's nothing crazy that's wrong about it. Very pleased with it. I'm looking at it over here because it's on the crib right now, just hanging out. Obviously it won't be in there when he's in there, but it's just sitting there for now. But I'm proud of that. I feel like the timing was great. Looking forward to, I'm gonna say the baby coming. I am not excited about the part that he could be coming like really early. He won't be considered a preemie at this point, but still earlier than we had hoped that he would come. And I'm not super excited about getting induced because I know that that can be a much longer labor and a much more painful labor, so I'm kind of nervous about that. But I am looking forward to him coming, of me like actually having the baby and being able to see him, what he looks like, be able to just like know all the stats about him, have him outside of my body, be able to hold him and cuddle him and do all the baby stuff with him. So I'm very excited that that point is getting closer and closer. Some days it seems like it's closer than others, but at most we have what, like 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Because if he comes before 39 weeks, at most 4 weeks. That's not too long. All right, let me reposition you and I'll show you my belly. I feel like it's still very high. He's not dropping at all. He's just chilling up in my lungs and stomach and not interested in coming down. Okay, here's with my shirt down. The side. The front. Other side. And then my shirt up, side, front. Got some stretch marks still, but not too crazy. And other side. That's all I got for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll be back with a 36-week update and let you know how everything's going. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.